Elena stood alone on the dew-kissed grass, the sprawling Czech countryside stretching out around her like a serene painting. The early evening sun cast long shadows through the towering pines, their needles whispering secrets to the gentle breeze. She glanced at her watch for the third time, anxiety bubbling beneath her calm exterior. Her friends were supposed to arrive any minute now to join her for a night out at one of Prague's famed nightclubs. It was supposed to be a rejuvenating getaway, a break from the monotony of her everyday life with Mark. Mark had been preoccupied lately, lost in his work and distant in his affections. Elena had decided that a trip to the Czech Republic, with its enchanting landscapes and vibrant nightlife, might rekindle some of the spark that seemed to be fading between them. She had chosen this spot, a secluded clearing near the edge of the forest, for its tranquility, hoping the natural beauty would soothe her restless mind as she waited for her friends. As the sky began to transition from twilight to the deep blues of night, Elena felt a twinge of disappointment. Her friends were late, caught up in traffic, or perhaps something more. The anticipation of the night ahead mingled with the quiet solitude, creating a cocktail of emotions she wasn't quite prepared to handle alone. Just as she was about to call her friends, a rustle in the underbrush caught her attention. She turned to see a man emerge from the shadows, his presence both unexpected and oddly comforting. Tall and lean, with tousled dark hair and piercing green eyes, he carried an air of mystery that made Elena's heart race. He offered a warm, genuine smile that seemed to bridge the gap between strangers. "Beautiful evening, isn't it?" he said, his voice smooth and reassuring. Elena nodded, feeling a strange sense of ease wash over her. "Yes, it is. I'm just waiting for my friends to join me for a night out." He glanced at his watch before responding. "I'm Lucas. I live nearby. If you need some company while you wait, I'd be happy to keep you company." There was something about Lucas that made Elena hesitate. Perhaps it was his confident demeanor, or the way his eyes seemed to hold stories of their own. She felt an inexplicable pull towards him, a curiosity that overshadowed her initial reservations. "I appreciate the offer," she replied cautiously, "but I'm not sure." Lucas took a step closer, his presence reassuring rather than intrusive. "Sometimes unexpected moments lead to the most memorable experiences. Why not enjoy the evening and see where it takes you?" Elena felt her resolve weaken. The loneliness she had been trying to fend off for so long seemed to dissipate in his presence. She glanced back toward the forest, the sounds of nocturnal life serenading her thoughts. Perhaps a little spontaneity was exactly what she needed. "All right," she whispered, a smile creeping onto her face. "I suppose a little company wouldn't hurt." As Lucas settled beside her, the first stars began to twinkle in the night sky, casting a magical glow over the clearing. Little did Elena know, this chance encounter would set in motion a series of events that would challenge the foundations of her marriage and alter the course of her life forever. As Lucas settled beside her, the sounds of the nocturnal forest enveloped them in a serene symphony. Crickets chirped rhythmically, and the occasional hoot of an owl punctuated the night air. Elena felt a comforting silence between them, broken only by the rustling leaves and their soft conversation. "So, what brings you out here tonight?" Elena asked, curious about the man who had appeared so suddenly in her secluded spot. Lucas chuckled softly, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "I could ask you the same. I enjoy evening walks, especially in places as beautiful as this. It's a way to clear my mind after a long day." Elena nodded, appreciating his openness. "I can relate. I came here to find some peace, away from the hustle and bustle. It's been a bit hectic lately." They shared stories of their lives. Elena spoke of her career in marketing and her marriage to Mark, while Lucas mentioned his work as a freelance photographer, capturing the raw beauty of nature. There was an easy flow to their conversation, a natural connection that Elena hadn't anticipated. As the night deepened, the temperature dropped slightly, and Lucas offered his jacket. Elena accepted gratefully, wrapping it around her shoulders. The gesture was simple, yet it bridged the physical distance between them. "I've always found nightclubs exhilarating," Lucas remarked, glancing towards the distant lights that hinted at Prague's vibrant nightlife. "There's something about the energy, the music, the people coming together to celebrate life." Elena smiled, a hint of excitement returning. "That's exactly why my friends and I planned this trip. We wanted to experience the best of both worlds, nature by day and the pulsating nightlife by night. They continued to talk, the initial awkwardness fading as they delved deeper into each other's lives. Elena found herself laughing more freely, her earlier worries momentarily forgotten. Lucas had a way of making her feel seen, understood, and surprisingly alive. After a while, the distant sound of a car approaching caught Elena's attention. She glanced towards the winding road that led to the clearing, hope flickering in her chest. "That must be my friends finally arriving," she said, standing up and brushing off her pants. Lucas stood as well, his demeanor respectful. "I'm glad I met you tonight, Elena. Maybe our paths will cross again." Elena hesitated, a pang of something unnameable stirring within her. She wanted to say more, to savor the connection they had forged in such a short time. But reality intruded, reminding her of the commitments and responsibilities awaiting her. "Thank you, Lucas. It was nice talking to you," she replied, forcing a smile. Just then, her friends arrived, their faces lighting up with relief and excitement. They greeted her with hugs and chatter about the upcoming night, pulling her back into the planned festivities. Lucas watched them for a moment before offering a final nod and turning to leave. As Elena walked away with her friends, she glanced back towards where Lucas had stood. His silhouette blended seamlessly with the shadows of the pines, leaving her with a lingering sense of longing. The night ahead promised laughter, music, and the warmth of friendship, yet a part of her couldn't shake the feeling that this evening was about to take an unexpected turn. Later that night, amidst the flashing lights and thumping beats of the nightclub, Elena found herself dancing with her friends, the vibrant atmosphere lifting her spirits. Yet, her mind kept drifting back to Lucas, the mysterious stranger who had awakened feelings she hadn't realized she was suppressing. As the hours passed and the club began to empty, Elena decided to step outside for some fresh air. The cool night air was a welcome contrast to the heat and noise inside. She wandered towards a quiet corner of the club's outdoor area, seeking a moment of solitude. To her surprise, Lucas was there, leaning against a tree, a drink in hand. His presence was unexpected, yet it felt strangely natural. He looked up and smiled when he saw her, the same warm expression that had drawn her in earlier. "Elena," he greeted, his voice soft against the backdrop of distant music. "I wasn't sure if I'd see you again tonight." She felt her heart race, the night's earlier events cascading into a single, pivotal moment. "I didn't expect to run into you here," she admitted, unsure of what she truly felt. Lucas took a step closer, his eyes searching hers. "I couldn't stop thinking about our conversation earlier. There's something about you that's captivating." Elena's breath caught in her throat. The line between right and wrong blurred as the allure of the moment took hold. She glanced around, ensuring their privacy, then took a deep breath, torn between her loyalty to Mark and the undeniable connection she felt with Lucas. In that secluded outdoor space, beneath the canopy of pines and the watchful gaze of the stars, Elena stood at the crossroads of desire and fidelity. The choices she made in those fleeting moments would echo through the rest of her life, reshaping her relationships and redefining her sense of self. As Lucas reached out to gently touch her hand, Elena closed her eyes, surrendering to the whispering pines and the pull of an unexpected passion that promised to change everything. Elena stood frozen under the canopy of pines, the cool night air enveloping her as Lucas's hand lingered gently on hers. The weight of her choices pressed heavily upon her, each heartbeat echoing the turmoil within. The distant sounds of the nightclub seemed a world away, replaced by the intimate silence between them. For a moment, time stood still. Elena closed her eyes, allowing herself to feel the pull of the moment, the excitement, the connection, the temptation. It was a stark contrast to the predictable rhythm of her life with Mark, whose love had grown quiet and distant amidst the pressures of work and routine. But as she stood there, the memories of her life with Mark flooded her mind. Their early days were filled with laughter, shared dreams, and unwavering support. They had built a life together, one that Elena had taken for granted in her pursuit of personal and professional fulfillment. The thought of betraying that history weighed heavily on her conscience. "Lucas," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "I need to think." He nodded, respecting her hesitation. "I understand. Take all the time you need." Elena took a deep breath, stepping back to create space between them. She glanced up at the star-studded sky, finding clarity in its vastness. This moment was a crossroads, not just for the night, but for her entire life. Returning to her friends the next morning, Elena felt a sense of resolution. The previous night's events lingered in her mind, but she knew what she had to do. The allure of the unknown was tempting, but her commitment to Mark and the life they had built together was stronger. Over breakfast, Elena shared a light-hearted story about her unexpected encounter, omitting the deeper emotional turmoil it had caused her. Her friends listened, offering smiles and laughter, unaware of the internal battle she had fought. That evening, as they prepared to leave the Czech countryside, Elena found Mark sitting quietly by the car. His eyes met hers, searching for something she wasn't yet ready to reveal. "Everything okay?" he asked, his voice tinged with concern. Elena nodded, reaching out to take his hand. "Yes, everything's fine. I'm just glad we're finally getting this trip together." Mark smiled, squeezing her hand reassuringly. "Me too. It's been too long." As they drove away, Elena glanced in the rearview mirror, catching a glimpse of the pines and the lingering shadows of the night before. She felt a sense of peace settle over her, knowing that the temptation had passed and her heart remained true to the bond she shared with Mark. Back home, life returned to its familiar rhythm. Elena and Mark found themselves making a conscious effort to reconnect, dedicating time to each other amidst their busy schedules. They explored new hobbies, went on weekend getaways, and engaged in heartfelt conversations that had become rare in the past months. Elena occasionally thought of Lucas, wondering what could have been. But those thoughts were tempered by the gratitude she felt for the love and stability she had with Mark. The encounter had served as a stark reminder of what she valued most, strengthening her commitment to nurture and protect her marriage. Months later, as autumn leaves began to fall, Elena and Mark sat together in their backyard, the same tranquility that had drawn Elena to the Czech countryside reflected in their peaceful surroundings. They held hands, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. "I'm really happy we took that trip," Mark said softly. Elena smiled, leaning into his embrace. "Me too. It reminded me of how much we mean to each other." In that moment, Elena realized that true fulfillment wasn't found in fleeting encounters or unexplored paths, but in the enduring love and connection she shared with Mark. The whispers in the pines had guided her back to what truly mattered, reaffirming her commitment to the life they were building together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over their home, Elena felt a profound sense of contentment. She had faced temptation and emerged stronger, her heart steadfast in its loyalty and love. The journey had been challenging, but it had ultimately led her to a deeper understanding of herself and the relationships that defined her. And so, under the same stars that had witnessed her moment of doubt, Elena and Mark embraced the future with renewed hope and unwavering devotion, their bond unbroken and their love enduring.